If you are a grade 1 to 8 teacher in Ontario, the Ministry of Education has just released its brand new language curriculum. The entire strand structure is different. So we're moving away from 4 strands: reading, writing, oral communication, and media literacy. The 4 new strands are going to be literacy connections and applications, foundations of language, reading comprehension, and composition. So now we have equal weight between foundations of language. So this is our phonics, grammar, syntax, morphology, alphabetic principle, phonemic awareness. That is at the same level of importance as comprehension, which is another strand. In the past, comprehension really ruled, and foundations of language in terms of teaching phonics took a real backseat with the materials that were used in classrooms for the past. It seems like some were not aware that a new curriculum was going to be coming, especially teachers grades 6, 7, and 8. And then some of our early elementary teachers, primary teachers, they knew this was coming because they've seen a shift in their reading instruction over the past couple of years. In 2012, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled unanimously that reading is a fundamental right, a human right, in order to exist in a developed society. In 2012, Jeffrey Moore, who was a student with dyslexia in BC at the time, was not receiving appropriate interventions and accommodations for his dyslexia. And so the Supreme Court determined that the school board had denied Jeffrey Moore access to a meaningful education, and therefore they were in violation of his human rights. So fast forward to 2019, the Ontario Human Rights Commission launches an inquiry into the way that reading is taught in elementary schools in Ontario. The inquiry report found that Ontario was not fulfilling its obligations and meeting the needs of students' right to read. In this report, including using the term dyslexia instead of learning disability on documentation relating to students with special education services or who have had an IEP created. Also, special considerations in terms of data tracking, making sure we're progress monitoring and identifying students quickly. Also recommends that unique needs of First Nations, Métis, and English language learners are addressed as well. The government is trying to implement the recommendations from the Right to Read report. Curriculum is long overdue. I think in a different conversation, we can talk about how reading instruction got so far off the rails in terms of being aligned with research and being so discriminatory. But moving forward, this curriculum is going to save just a lot of heartache and headache for families and for teachers. And if you are surprised at this, or you've already read the new curriculum and you're wondering how to implement it, or you had questions about anything, just leave a comment and we can talk about the new language curriculum in Ontario.